Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad that you found me here on YouTube. And today I want to get right into it and talk about hoovering. Hoovering is something all narcissists do, and it got named after the Hoover vacuum cleaner. And I think narcissism is the only one that really used this term, this personality disorder. I don't know if they've ever used this with everything else. When in a normal relationship, when your ex comes back and wants to get back together, you don't call that hoovering. You only call it hoovering when it's a narcissist doing it. And what's going on there is it actually has nothing really to do with them wanting you back or wanting to see you. It's about them having a momentarily disruption in their fuel source from their main supply and their secondary supplies. And when that happens is when they come back to you to hoover you. They don't really, nothing's changed in the dynamics of what went down in your relationship and where you are in your life. When your ex comes back, especially if they come back fairly soon after the discard, most of us want to be hoovered. We want them back, right? We're still, freaking out over the situation and going through all these emotions, and we don't know what happened still. So if they come back soon enough, you want them back. But the thing is, if you have had a chance to understand that you were with a narcissist and know what's going on, and especially if you learn what hoovering is, you won't take them back. And I hope everyone is out there is getting strong enough to be able to resist the hoover. And a lot of people are like, well, it's been years and I never got my hoover. He never wanted to get back together with me. And that just means that they haven't had a disruption in their supply yet. And hoovering can take place like a decade later. It really can. If they have a new supply and they marry that new supply and, have a family and everything with them, or have left the country like my narc did, you're not going to see the hoover yet. It's only when you enter their sphere of influence and give them an opportunity to hoover you when their supply has been disrupted. So you really need to prepare yourself for that day, whether it is a few weeks after the discard or a few years or even a decade. You really need to prepare yourself for when that happens, because it's quite inevitable. When someone's drowning, they will suck anyone down under in desperation. Maybe like a metaphor is like a heroin addict will do anything for the next hit. I mean, when they're desperate for supply, when they're desperate for fuel, they're going to start going to where they know that they've gotten fuel before. And that's what they're doing when they're hoovering you. And you just need to be prepared for that day. Keep chiming into like videos like this and finding support in your tribe out there, because we all need support for when that happens. Now, my narc, he hasn't really hoovered me. I mean, you can say he hoovered me the very first few weeks after our breakup. There was a lot of lingering stuff that went on a little bit, but it wasn't a true hoover. And then he left the country, so I haven't been hoovered by him. And it's been 2.5 years. And the thing is, and I know that as soon as things fall apart where he's at with his new supply, that hoovering might just be a phone call or a text, and I'm trying to prepare myself for that day, because I think it'll happen at one point or another. you're never safe from the Hoover. You know, a narc knows that you have fuel, right? And it's kind of just not if, but when. And the longer that you can go without being hoovered, the more greater chance that you'll be successful at being able to resist it. You know, out of all the things that I've experienced with my narc, I haven't gone through that yet. So it's not like I can give you all this great advice on how to go about it. All I know is that I would love to hear your comments on things that you've done to resist your Hoover, because I think we all are going to get it. And I've heard of other terms like gray rocking, which is when they do try to Hoover you and contact you, you have to, your only defense, because we won't be able to resist probably talking with them, right? Or answering their phone call, and they know this, right? They absolutely know this. But the one thing that you can do is gray rock, which is basically when you're talking to them to not react to what they're saying, right? You try to talk without emotion and without any fuel, because remember, if you talk with emotion to them, and if you talk to them, you know, or even they might call you even to start an argument, and even them calling you and starting an argument is a fuel for them. It's negative fuel, but it's still fuel, okay? And if you talk to them and say anything to coerce them back into your life, and any hint, that would be fuel as well. So the only thing that you can do is gray rock. You know, we're talking one word answers to their questions. No, try your very best not to put any emotion into the contact that you're having with them. Make it extremely minimal. And, you know, and the point of it is when the Hoover happens, you have to get the point across and make them feel like there's just no fuel to be had here anymore. And the only way you can do that really is to gray rock them, because not answering their phone call is not going to do it. You know, I don't think. I mean, they're just going to end up trying again. They will almost be satisfied with the thought of them making you think of them on their end. So just not ignoring them is not, I don't think it's going to be effective enough. What's effective is them knowing that they cannot get not one drop of fuel from you. And you got a gray rock when you talk to them. So I'm always trying to prepare myself for that day. Hasn't happened. You know, a lot of people wonder why haven't I been hoovered yet? Where's my Hoover, right? Almost like they want it. So they want to get Hoover so they can reject them, because that's what, you know, a lot of us still want. We want a little bit of revenge. They left you, they discarded you. When they try to Hoover you, you want to discard them, and you want to have a little bit of that satisfaction, right? And I'm telling you, that's not the way to go. Even though you want to. So everyone has to prepare themselves for the day when they do get hoovered into gray rock, because that is the true victory over your narcissist, right? Over the hoovering. They go destroy someone else's life and go get and suck someone else dry, because your fuel is not worthy to them. You know, you need to find a partner that doesn't steal fuel from you. It just enjoys it with you. You know, you can't go back to the narcissist. So everyone, stay strong out there. Whether you've been hoovered yet or not, or you're trying to prepare yourself for that Hoover, stay strong as we all move forward with happiness in our lives, as we find our tribe together. Post Narcissist.